What's going on, Bills Mafia? It's Mitch here of TheBottomLineView, here to predict the record for the Buffalo Bills in 2022. Going game by game, giving you my thoughts on whether they will win or they will lose each matchup, determining the good matchups, determining the tough matchups, and going game by game, deciding their record for the 2022 NFL season. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe to the channel for more BLV just like this, and hop in the comment section and let me know what you think the Bills record will be in 2022. Let's predict some games. All right, Bills Mafia, let's get started predicting some games for 2022. Week 1, the Los Angeles Rams, opening night, the most exciting night in all of football outside of possibly the Super Bowl. Could this be a Super Bowl preview? The Buffalo Bills head to Los Angeles to play the Super Bowl champs. That means the Super Bowl favorites, the Bills, take on the Super Bowl champs, the Rams. Typically, I side with the Super Bowl champs here because there's a lot of energy in the building. There's a lot of excitement. The banner is raised, and the champs are feeling themselves. They're feeling good. They're ready to play some football. But the Buffalo Bills are going to be the team with the eye of the tiger. The way last season ended, it was a sour note. I expect them to come out hard and heavy. I think the Rams will be a little bit fat and happy, and I think that means the Bills win this game. Josh Allen, I think, can dice up that defense. I don't think it's quite what it was in the Super Bowl run. Von Miller is now in the Buffalo Bills and not the Rams. He should help cause a turnover or two in this game for Matthew Stafford. And I just feel like the Rams are going to be a little bit more relaxed and the Bills are going to be ready to go come the season start. It's not impossible for the Super Bowl champs to lose the first game. We've seen it before. So I'm going to go with the Bills, who I think will probably be the better team this year than the Los Angeles Rams in week 1. I know that might be a little bit outside the box, but that's going to be my pick. Week 2, the Tennessee Titans. This is a team that you've struggled with. This is a team that you've had problems with. Derrick Henry has given you guys issues. There's no doubt about it. But this is the year for you guys to solve it. Plus, it's on Monday Night Football, and it's in your building. You can't lose to a team that you've lost to so many times in a row. Your building, Monday night, bright lights. Everyone's expecting you to come up and play big and win. Josh Allen put up a bunch of points last year, but he fell on his face on a 4th and inches and failed to convert. But I think they get this one back this season. The Titans aren't the same team. They don't have A.J. Brown. I think the Bills win it. And then they play Miami. Now, this game's tricky because Miami, tough place to play in September because of the heat, especially if you're a cold climate type of team where you're having to go, from a little bit colder weather to a place with extremely humid weather. So the Miami Dolphins, they're much better this year, and they have a secret weapon to beat the Buffalo Bills, and his name is Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has given the Bills so many issues over the last couple of years. I expect that to take place again in this game. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be the difference on top of Jalen Waddle. I think the Dolphins are going to pull off an upset here. I think with Buffalo playing a huge game versus the Rams in opening night, and then playing a team on Monday on a short week now going to Miami, which I just said is a tough place to play. It's a divisional opponent that you've dominated, so you might overlook them. I think Miami is going to come in with a good game plan, a new coach, and a new way to beat the Bills, and I think they do it early in the season. Now, of course, you play the Dolphins twice, so let's just get to the second Dolphins game. You play them in week 15, okay? I think you win the second game because that game, it's going to be in Buffalo, and it's going to be probably around December-ish, which means it's going to be cold, and it's going to be windy, and it's going to be maybe even snowing, which I don't think fares well for neither the Dolphins traditionally or Tua, who has kind of a weaker arm and can't really throw through that wind. I think that's a real big time advantage for the Buffalo Bills. Week 4, you play the Baltimore Ravens, which is always a tough game for you guys. A couple seasons ago, you played them in the playoffs. It was an extremely tight defensive football game. I wouldn't be shocked if this was the same. Baltimore has a really good secondary, and a secondary that can stifle the Bills' high potent passing attack. But the Bills also have a really good, fast, smart defense that can track down Lamar Jackson and cause issues for him. This one's in Baltimore, which makes it more challenging to pick. I do think the Bills are ultimately the better team, and I do think they have more options to beat the Baltimore defense than The Baltimore offense has to beat the Bills defense, as Lamar Jackson does not have a ton of weapons to really dice up this defense with. So if he's not running the ball particularly well, which I think is going to be tough to do versus the Bills defense, I think that overall the Bills should find a way to get this one done. And then in week 5, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. This game is in Buffalo. Pittsburgh was a challenging game for you guys last year. You lost that game, and it was in Buffalo as well. So that just goes to show how challenging Pittsburgh's defense can be with their front four, how they can create pressure. And then Minkah Fitzpatrick on the back end did his work as well. Now, there's no Big Ben Roethlisberger. Kenny Pickett, maybe. Mitch Trubisky, possibly revenge game here. I just don't know if the Steelers have enough offense to beat the Bills 2 years in a row. I think their defense will give the Bills all they can handle. But I think ultimately in Buffalo 2 years in a row, you shouldn't lose to the Steelers 2 years in a row. And then the Bills play the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, which is one of the mostly highly anticipated games of the year and of the calendar. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, it could be a duel, but I do expect the Bills to take this game. They beat them in the regular season last year. No Tyreek Hill, as I mentioned, he's already on Miami. That's a huge loss for them because he's really been the difference maker for them versus Buffalo. On top of that, that evens the speed. And then you look at, okay, Kansas City's got some new weapons. Sky Moore, they've got Juju, they've got Valdez-Scantling. Those guys are okay, but it's going to take time to develop that chemistry. Buffalo has more chemistry on both sides of the ball. They brought in Von Miller for this game in particular. They have a lot of depth on the D-line to try to shake and get to Patrick Mahomes. And because they don't have that legitimate number one option that you've got to double team, including Tre'Davious White coming back, I believe the Bills are the better, more capable team here, and they should be able to win it without Tyreek Hill in Kansas City. Then you got the bye week, and then you prepare for Aaron Rodgers with that bye week, which is very nice for you and well set up for your schedule. You play them at home. Green Bay is a lot better when they're at home, so you take them out of Lambeau, and it makes them not that good in comparison. I believe that the Packers will be a good team this year, but just like Kansas City, they're adjusting to a lot of new weapons. Christian Watson, Sammy Watkins. They don't have Devontae Adams any longer, so that means that their potency offensively is going to take a hit. They can run the ball a bit, which should give the Bills some issues, along with Aaron Rodgers' great mind and arm, but I think it's going to be like a one-score game. The Bills should be able to pull it out, given that they're just more dynamic and dangerous offensively. But the Packers' defense is very well built to slow down a team like Buffalo, as they have a very strong secondary, good safeties, good corners. Linebacker play is improving with Devondre Campbell and now Quay Walker, and their D-line can get some pressure. So if the Packers' defense can somehow disrupt Allen and create some turnovers, then they could pull off the upset. But I just don't know if the Packers, even with Aaron Rodgers, have enough potency offensively to beat Buffalo at home. So maybe if this was in Lambeau, I would go with the Packers, but I'm going to take Buffalo there. Week 9, you play the New York Jets, another rival. The Jets, I do think, are going to be a much more challenging team than they have been in the last couple of years. They're a lot more talented on both lines of scrimmage. They're good on the offensive line, good on the defensive line. It's highly dependent on their coaching and Zach Wilson's development. I'm not sure if they're a mature enough team to take it to Buffalo. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets beat the Bills once this year, especially in New York, as maybe a fluky victory of some sort. But I'm going to lean towards the Bills. I just think they're too good. I think the advantage in talent is just too big. The Vikings head to Buffalo, and to keep it short and sweet, I just don't see a Kirk Cousins-led team going in the cold, going to Buffalo at this time of the year, and even with Dalvin Cook running the ball, being able to win this game, especially with Minnesota's question marks being in the secondary and the offensive line. So I'm going to go with the Bills at home versus the Vikings. Now we've got the Cleveland Browns, which I do think, you look at this schedule so far, they've beaten the Packers, they've beaten the Vikings, they've beaten the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, all in a row. Those are some good wins. They play a Browns team who's sneaky, a tough challenge for them. They can run the ball at Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They've got a quarterback who can extend plays and make plays, and he's a playmaker, Deshaun Watson, kind of like Mahomes that way. Amari Cooper could be a challenge to cover on top of the multiple tight end sets that they could utilize. Kevin Stefanski's got a good scheme. The defense has got a front that is challenging with Myles Garrett. So they've got enough speed defensively. They've got enough speed offensively. and power to be able to take it to the Bills, even on the road. So similar to the Colts game a year ago, I think this is a challenging game. I'm going to take the Browns to win this one as an upset. Because the Bills have been on such a tear, I think they're due for a loss there. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns. Week 12, the Detroit Lions. Let's keep it simple. The Bills are beating the Detroit Lions. As much as I like this story and as much as I think they're getting better, this is Thursday Night Football prime time. The Bills are not losing 2 in a row, especially to the Detroit Lions. Then you go week 13, the New England Patriots, 2 Thursdays in a row. I believe that first one's Thanksgiving, the second one's a regular Thursday game. The Bills play the Patriots. This has become an even bigger rivalry than it was before, with Josh Allen coming around and the Bills really gaining a lot of steam as a franchise and as a team. New England kind of fading a little bit with Tom Brady leaving. Mac Jones is now on the rise, and Mac Jones, I do think is going to have a good season this year, but I do worry about the Patriots and how they built this offseason and how they built their team around him. I do think that New England is still a pretty tough challenge for Buffalo. Belichick's familiarity with them, I think they're going to be angry given that they got absolutely wrecked in the playoffs by you guys, and I do think they can run the ball a bit on you, and they've got better playmakers on the perimeter with more speed to give you some challenges down the field. On top of that, their defense is faster given what they've added in the offseason, although they don't have J.C. Jackson anymore, which will hurt, but they will have Jonathan Jones back to cover those speedy receivers. So I think the Patriots will win one of these games this year, and I'm just going to pick it to be the Thursday game at home. It's a big advantage to play Thursday at home. On top of being in New England on a primetime game, it's just really tough to go there and win at that time. Plus, New England's going to have something in the bag for Buffalo because of what happened last year. So I think Belichick puts together a good game plan and they win that game. Now, the second game that they play is the last week of the season. I think the Bills get back that one and split. I think that they should split with the Patriots this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they swept them. But again, last year, as much as they dominated them, 2 out of 3 games, they still lost one of them. So I'm going to say that the Bills split with the Patriots this season, and they win the last game of the year at home. Week 14, I think they sweep the Jets. I just don't think the Jets are there yet to truly be able to beat the Bills, especially in Buffalo. Zach Wilson still got a lot to prove, and even though they've got some talent, and like I said, they could pull off an upset, it's not impossible. I just think it's probably too much and probably too unrealistic. Week 16 and Week 17, you've got the Bears and the Bengals. I think the Bears should be a cakewalk. They're not a very good team. They don't have a good offensive line. They don't have many weapons. Their defense isn't very challenging. And even though Soldier Field and Chicago can be a challenging environment, Buffalo will be used to the windy environment, and that won't be much unlike home for them. And then Week 17, Buffalo at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a really good team, a lot of talent, a lot of perimeter talent, a lot of receivers to be able to defend there. So they could have their fits with the Bengals for sure. I think it's going to be a one-score game, back and forth. It's Monday night in Cincinnati. I do think the Bills' defense, I think it's more reliable. I think it's better coached. And that's why I give them the edge over Cincinnati to be able to slow down Joe Burrow and company. Well, I'm not sure the Bengals' defense can fully slow down Josh Allen, but hey, that's a flip of a coin. I could see you picking that one either way, but that is my record for the Buffalo Bills. So my record for the Bills, as you can see, is 14-3. I've got them 4-2 in the division, 9-3 in the conference, 7-1 at home, and 7-2 away. The conference rank, they're going to be number 1. To me, they're going to be the best team in the AFC during the regular season. We'll see what happens in the playoffs, but I do have them taking the number 1 seed with a 14-3 record. Let me know your record in the comment section below. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Thanks for watching. Gronk spiked the like button. We'll see you in the next video. Make sure to check out the rest of the record predictions of the AFC East and the rest of the NFL. Peace.